Today you're joining me right here in Barcelona in Spain as I prepare to board Valiant Lady, one of the huge cruise ships from Virgin Voyages. This cruise is going to take us from Barcelona in Europe, out of the Mediterranean, all the way across the whole of the Atlantic Ocean until finally we make land in America, and we're going to arrive in Miami in Florida. On the way there, I am going to be showing you so many different things. Up first, I'll be showing you some pretty cool ports of call, and yes, I did end up flying down the hill inside a wicker basket. I'll also be showing you some pretty amazing scenery and some awesome little old towns in the process. Back on board the ship, we have got a lot of days at sea to fully dive in to the Virgin product. First up, we're going to be looking at everything to do with entertainment on board this type of cruise ship. If you've ever heard of Virgin Voyages, you'll know that they pride themselves in doing things a little bit differently. And over the course of this series, we're going to arrive at a conclusion as to whether or not differently is for the better. I'm also going to show you Scarlet Night, which is one of the most famous nights on board any Virgin cruise ship, where the whole ship goes red and it turns into a huge party. Finally, I am going to dive into the world of gastronomy on this cruise, and I'm going to show you over the next couple of videos everything that you want to see about food on board a Virgin cruise ship. Will it be any good, or will it be a bit of a faff and not really as good as they say? You're going to have to come along for the journey to find out. So if you're brand new here, then welcome to Fraser at Sea. Click that subscribe button, remember to click the thumbs up because that helps to push my content to more people. And I guess it's now time to get started, so I'll see all of you in Barcelona. Hi everyone, welcome back. Now today I am coming to you from one of my favourite cities on the planet. Now this is Barcelona in Spain, and I am currently in my hotel room just getting ready to pack up and leave, because today I am heading down to the cruise port to board Virgin Voyages Valiant Lady. Now, if you've followed me for a while, you'll know that I very recently cruised on board Scarlet Lady, which is the same type of ship as Valiant. And on that cruise, I did a short, I think it was 4-night cruise around the Bahamas out of Miami. Today, however, is a much bigger trip, and I cannot, honestly, I can't believe this is happening. So today, I'm here in Barcelona, and I'm cruising to America, which I can't wait. Today is my first time ever doing a transatlantic cruise, and what a ship to do it on. So look, guys, enough from me here. Let's get out this hotel room, drag all of this luggage across Barcelona city, and I will catch up with all of you down at the port before we board Valiant Lady. Over the last couple of years, Barcelona has remained right at the top of my favourite cities in Europe list. There's a number of reasons for that, but I find this place to be really chilled, really laid back, very warm, very accepting, and just generally a very nice place to spend time. Another thing that I particularly like about this city is that it's very flat, because it's built right on the coast, and unless you go out of the city, you're not really going to find too many hills. Now that means if you are planning to walk to the cruise ship, just like I am right now, then it's nowhere near as difficult as in some other cities. I was carrying a checked bag, a hand luggage pull-along, and also a backpack, and I was absolutely fine. Most of the streets in Barcelona, when you're north of Catalunya Square, will be pretty quiet, but when you get down to La Rambla, which is the main street that takes you down to the cruise port, it gets very, very busy. So I would always advise anybody who is planning to do this walk to just keep an eye on your bags, and also be very mindful of pickpockets, who unfortunately will always operate in this type of city. Anyway, back to more positive things. The walk from La Rambla over to the cruise port takes about 25 minutes in the sunshine, and then you're right here at the port. Joining us today were a number of different cruise ships that I'll tell you more about when I come on camera in a little second, but the one that we are boarding today is right here at the front. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Valiant Lady. I always think Virgin's ship design is absolutely gorgeous, and the ships really do stand out in port. I don't know about you, but I now cannot wait to step on board. So enough from me here, and I'll see you down there before we board the ship. Okay, here we go. There's Valiant Lady. We are docked today at Terminal A in Barcelona, which was actually the closest one to the city, so you might be able to see the W Hotel right behind, and then you've got the whole city in the background. Now, annoyingly, Virgin used to dock over there, actually in the city centre, but apparently at the moment there's a little bit of drama, and there's the potential, or I think cruise ships maybe have been banned from docking over there because it is so central. So yeah, we've got the closest docking position to the city. We've got the other ships behind us, and you know, coming over that bridge was the weirdest feeling, because the ships that are with us today, there's Symphony of the Seas from Royal Caribbean, there's Costa Toscana from Costa Cruises, and I think there's a Seabourn ship here as well. And granted, my budget can't stretch to Seabourn quite yet, but there was something really strange about seeing two of my previous ships, which I actually cruised on here, sitting right beside this one today. Because if you have been following for a while, you'll know that I'm spending the majority of this year on cruise ships, and those ships were back kind of the other side of summer, so that was sort of back April, May time this year. It's now October, so it's very strange being back here in autumn for the next stage of this, and my other ships still being here. But yeah, bit of a strange one, but look, I cannot wait to get on to this absolute beauty behind me. My plan from now is to hopefully get through a relatively quiet terminal. I mean, there were queues outside the building there, which I'll show you now as we were looking down from the bridge. But to be honest, nothing horrendous. I've seen much, much worse here. Once we get on, let's check out the cabin and then grab a bite to eat at, hopefully, the pizza takeaway restaurant, which is one of my favourite things on here. So yeah, look, let's cut here and I will see all of you on board this beautiful ship. It's time to leave this absolute beauty of a city behind and get on board Valiant Lady for what was hopefully going to be one of the best and also one of the most unique cruises that I've ever taken. Once I entered Terminal A, it was pretty clear that the queues were certainly much longer than they looked from the outside. However, they moved pretty quickly, and before I knew it, I was at the front of the line. I was able to get my wearable technology, which is how you charge things to your onboard account on a Virgin cruise, and then I was given a card that had my cabin number on it. That's particularly useful because with Virgin, you don't have a room key, so that little bit of card just helps you find your room when you get on board. It was then time to head outside the terminal for my first full view of the gangway and also this remarkable ship before heading along straight up the plank and straight onto the ship. You can see that this was moving absolutely fine. It did feel quite busy getting on the ship, but once I was on, it was totally fine. First impressions of this ship, pretty similar to my first impressions from Scarlet Lady or more recently Resilient Lady. I just think this ship is gorgeous. It handles people so well, and it's so modern inside. Speaking of the inside, let's now talk about my cabin. I'll see you upstairs. Okay, I have just got into the room, and do you know what? I've had this feeling a few times this year, but it kind of weirdly, it feels good to be, I was going to say it feels good to be home. It's definitely not home, but this ship is now feeling very comfortable for me. Now, all the Virgin ships are basically identical at the moment, and I've done cruises now on Scarlet and, well, one before on Valiant, and yeah, there's something lovely about coming back here. I think I might actually be in the same cabin as what I was in last time. If not, I'm only one deck away, so that's cool. Now, anyway, first impressions of the cabin. To be honest, I'm not surprised because I know exactly what I booked. Now, I'm going to struggle to show you by turning the camera around because this cabin is teeny tiny, as we would say, which basically means it's about the size of a box. Now, that's fine because, again, I knew what I was booking. I actually got a great price on this cruise, which I'll maybe tell you about later. But yes, I'm going to be totally happy in here. Now, that said, I probably will try and see what upgrade prices are available, so I'll also let you know. But they said at the port there was only 1,600 embarking today, so unless there's a lot of people staying on from the last cruise, then I'm hoping that there might be quite a few vacant cabins. So let's see, because I would probably look at paying a bit to upgrade, given the fact we've got quite a lot of days at sea on here. Now, anyway, look, I'm going to flip the camera in a minute and give you a really quick tour of this room, because I always find the solo cabins get quite a lot of interest on YouTube. But before I do, let me show you something that I don't like it. I can already, yeah, I hate upselling, and I love the fact that Virgin, it doesn't ever feel like they do it. Now, there's loads of paperwork on the desk here, right? So the paperwork that we've got is like a welcome back for the loyalty programme, an invite for a solo thing, which I'll talk to you about in a bit, something about the clocks changing multiple times on this cruise, and then finally something about greener cruising and a couple of things that they're doing on this ship to help. Right. Number one, this little rubber octopus, right? I'm not sure why you would want this, right? But there's then this thing that says ink wants to occupy space in your heart. $12 and it's yours. I mean, if you're paying $12 for this, I'd like to talk to you, to be perfectly honest, because I'm not sure what the benefit is. But anyway, it gets better. So there's then beside the octopus this. I mean, this is like a gift shop. So this has got a $25 price tag on it. It's called a sextant corkscrew. Oh right, it must just be a fancy corkscrew. I think. I don't know how that would open a bottle, but there's like a bottle opener here, but I always thought a corkscrew would open a wine. Maybe not. Anyway, for $25, this is yours. So I've now checked into a cabin that's got, what, $37 worth of shoppable items in it. I've never seen that before in a cruise ship, and do you know what? I really don't like it, because this is two more things that are going to get flung in a corner somewhere. It's like the minibar. Like, stop filling the minibar with drinks. Virgin don't, actually, which was good, but stop filling the minibar with drinks, because I'm not going to drink them. Don't put novelty octopi, is that the plural? And novelty corkscrews. We don't need them. This isn't the gift shop. But anyway, look, rant over. Let me flip the camera and show you this room, and then we're going for pizza. Right, guys, here we go. Quickest room tour of our lives, because now that I've said the word pizza, I'm absolutely starving. So, look, here's my cabin, which for a lot of people would be far too small, but I really, really like these. They're dead cosy. Now, anyway, you've got the bed here, which that's not a single bed. It must be like a single and a half, maybe, I would say. Might even be a double. You've got a little bit of storage underneath. You've then got the desk here, which will cover all that paperwork when we get back from food. Then you've got water. Now, I really like this, so you can get more water by just playing with that tablet thing. You've then got a ship map, you've got a stool, got some storage under there. You've then got the minibar, which, yes, thank goodness it's empty after what I've just said. So, yep, empty minibar, which is good. Phone, and then over here, you've got your storage. So, annoying curtain, which this is going to haunt me because it's so like a shower curtain. I hate it. And then in here, you've got plenty of storage, plenty of hanging space. And then in here, floor-to-ceiling mirror on one side, drawers at the bottom, hairdryer here, safe here, and hopefully we're not going to need that guy going over the Atlantic, but life jacket up at the top. Anyway, room, that's it. Bathroom, here we go. Guys, this is so quick. You've got me, hello. You then got a pretty big sink, some makeup towels, some normal towels, toilet, and shower cubicle, which doesn't have a shower curtain, thank goodness, but unfortunately that is now. Oh, the shower curtain crusade goes on, because it's now in the blooming room. But yes, so, very impressed, I really like it. Let's see how much an upgrade would be, that might give you a laugh. And yeah, let's go eat, and let's go and get pizza downstairs. So, rather than sitting in down there, because to be honest, I just want a wee bit of time on my own this afternoon, I've opted for takeaway. I love that you can get a takeaway pizza on this cruise ship. It's, yeah, one of my favourite things. Fun fact, not a lot of people realise this, but the pizza boxes that they use on a Virgin ship actually also turn into plates. Now, you can scan a QR code on the box if you're not sure how to do that, or you can see the top of the box is perforated. You just open it, burst it into plates, and you're good to go. However, that is the last thing I need because it's only me. But guys, look at this pizza. I'll flip the camera to give you a better look now. But I have got pizza and mayonnaise, and I am delighted. Now, after I finish that, I am going to come back on and talk to you about the paperwork that was in the cabin when I got on board. And then going to really quickly do the muster drill before then it'll be time for sail away. And I will be taking you up to the top deck to see what it looks like to sail out of Barcelona. So do excuse me because I'm about to get very greasy hands getting through all of this. So yeah, I was going to say bon voyage, bon appetit, cheers. Okay, pizza done, and do you know what? Excellent, really good. If anything, I'm getting a little bit worried about my waistline over the next 14 nights because, yeah, it's too easy, and it's all included, which is great. So, yeah, really good. Anyway, look, let's talk paperwork, muster drill, and then get up for sail away. So, really quickly, the paperwork that you get in your room on a Virgin cruise. So, I've come in today to, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bits of paperwork, really. So let's go through each of them just really quickly, one at a time. Now, this first one is actually a really unusual one. So this is basically just apologising because Virgin are upgrading their ships at the moment, and it looks as though they're upgrading them to allow shore power to be a thing, which is basically, I mean, to really simplify it for me, shore power is basically where they can plug the ship in and accept power from shore when they dock. So that's great because it means that a lot of ports you don't then have smoke coming out the cruise ship when it's docked all day. So that's really good. It's just saying that when we're docked, they're going to be doing a lot of work to try and progress that. So yeah, hopefully that's not going to be too much of a disturbance, but really good. Big thumbs up that Virgin are doing all that. The second one for me is a special invite. Now, this is so exciting because if you remember way back, the last time I cruised on here, I posted a pretty damning review of Virgin's solo traveller offering. And what I found on Scarlet a few weeks ago was so refreshing because it was so much better. And on here, this is the best I've seen yet. So this says, "Ahoy Fraser, welcome on board. We've noticed you might be travelling solo. If this is the case, we'd love to invite you to meet up with other solo travellers, or sailors as they say here, for an evening of chat, deck views, and if you're up for it, dinner." So basically, they have drinks at 5 PM at the back of deck 16 for sail away, and then they've got a table booked at 6:45 in Razzle Dazzle, which, honestly, that's great. And then just says if you've got other plans tonight already, no worries, we'll be here all week if you need anything. That is so good. And they also now, I'm not sure if you'll be able to see that, they also now have this little solo sailor logo at the top, which would suggest this is an actual thing. So, Virgin Voyages, thank you. On behalf of solo travellers, massive thank you, because that is so appreciated by 99% of us. So yes, really good. Anyway, document number 3 is Virgin Voyages Sailing Club. So this is like the loyalty information. So basically, because I've cruised with Virgin, twice this year, I've unlocked what they call Deep Blue Extras. So I wear this Deep Blue wristband, right? And what that wristband entitles me to is priority boarding at embarkation, $100 bar tab, which is good because I've already got 600, I think, so that's added another 100 onto that, just what I need. I then get unlimited premium Wi-Fi, which should allow me to stream, which is really good. I then get a dedicated customer services desk, which is good, so sailor services down at reception. They've got a desk for the people with the blue bands on. There's then a cocktail event only for Deep Blues, which is good because you meet other people that are very similar to you. Complimentary laundry, so I can get one laundry bag done per cruise, and they also will press like 2 or 3 items for me. So to be honest, what I'll be doing is a bag of laundry at the end of this cruise, and I'll be getting them to press my formal shirts for taking on Cunard, So it's all, honestly guys, it's all about the tactics when you cruise long term. So that is laundry, and the final thing is $10 of premium coffee per cabin per day. So yeah, I will be going down and getting my first coffee of the cruise very, very soon. So that's that. And this one has chaos written all over it. So this document here says times are changing, times are changing. And on this cruise, going across the Atlantic, we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days where the time is going to change. So it's going to be, I'm not going to know what time it is on any day. This is going to be a nightmare. But, I mean, let's hope for the best. I've got my analog watch with me this time, so let's hope I can get it right. Now, the only final bit of paperwork, if I can just move the aforementioned octopi out of the way, then we've got a ship map. Now, I don't need this because I've been on this ship before and I've done Scarlet as well, so I'm really comfortable with what this ship looks like. But this is so good for anyone that hasn't cruised before, because you've just got the whole, so that deck, for example, you've got the whole front to back of the ship with what venues in which order. So I really like getting that popped in the cabin for me getting on. Now, anyway, that is all the paperwork done. I have got my, if I can grab it tactfully out my suitcase here, I've got my hoodie, which I think this probably clashes what I'm actually wearing. However, it's fine. I've got my hoodie ready to head up for sail away. So look, let's head down the muster drill. I've watched it on the TV. It's very funny on the TV. I'll show you a clip as we walk down to the muster station. But I've watched it on the TV, I've confirmed that I've seen it on there, and I now just need to go down to the Manor, which is on deck 7, I believe, just to check in and to get like an overview of how to work a life jacket and stuff. And after that, we're going up to the top deck to sail out of Barcelona for the final time this year. This is, I feel weird. I feel really, really, really weird. And I think it's going to be dead emotional up there because, yeah, this is like the beginning of the final bit. Because, yeah, I spent about 2 months earlier this year based in Barcelona. And I loved it. I loved all the ships. I loved just the first time being on cruise ships long term. And this is kind of sailing off over to America, and then I'll go back to England at the end of it, and that's it. So, anyway, let's go to muster, then top deck for sail away, and I'll see you all back in here to talk about tonight. When I got out onto the top deck, the Happenings cast, which is what Virgin calls their entertainment team, were coming out on deck to try and get people warmed up and ready for the sail away party. The views and the sunset, I have to say, were doing exactly the same. It was absolutely beautiful looking over there. One thing that I love about cruising out of Barcelona is that you can, more often than not, see the majority of Barcelona's key attractions on the skyline from your ship. Anyway, it's time to get this ship out to sea. Let me hand over to our onboard hostess.
Raise a glass for the friends you will discover. Lift a glass for the treasure you will uncover. May your journey be filled with excitement and fun. May your voyage with Virgin be an unforgettable one. To the Valiant Lady!
Right, we are now officially back out at sea, so let the fun and games begin, because one thing I'm absolutely sure about is that Virgin absolutely know how to throw a party, so I think the next couple of days, couple of weeks rather, are going to be pretty, pretty interesting. Now, one thing that I will confess to right now is that I actually have just come back to my room and sat on top of the bed after sail away, which did take a while to get going, to be fair, but I just sat on my bed and fell asleep, which is probably my body telling me that I need to have a relatively chilled night tonight. So don't worry, we're not going to be swinging off the back of the ship tonight. Maybe we'll save that for later in the cruise. So look, I'll come back on the plan for tonight just after I cover off a few things with you. Number one is thinking about money. And number two is thinking about the theme of this cruise, because it's so different to any cruise that I've done before. Now, first up, let's think money and let's think financials. Now, a lot of people have asked me how much I pay for cruises. A lot of people are interested to know how much cruises cost if you've never been on cruises before. And what I did want to let you know is that one of my top tips now to secure a really, really good rate on a cruise is to think about trips where they reposition the ship. Now, as you'll know, the episode that you're watching right now, we started in Barcelona in Spain in Europe, and we finish over in Miami in Florida in the USA. Now, the reason why the ship is doing that route, because it's quite rare. Usually the ship will go around a 7-night itinerary in the Med, for example. The reason why we're going over to the Caribbean is because cruise ships relocate depending on the seasons and depending on the weather in various parts of the world. So this ship will relocate to the Caribbean out of Europe, because Europe's going to get cold. It'll go over there, it'll do the winter season there, and then probably come back over when the weather gets a little bit better in Europe. Now, Resilient Lady is another example where she is also in the process right now of leaving Europe through the Suez Canal, and eventually she'll end up over in Australia. So yeah, cruise ships tend to weather chase or sun chase, if you like. Now, typically the relocation or the repositioning cruises are a little bit more awkward for the cruise lines to sell, because you typically need to be able to take a much longer holiday, and they often don't have as many port calls as what a normal cruise would. So if you look at this cruise, I'm on here for 14 nights, and we've only actually got, Barcelona doesn't count because we got on there, but we've only got Funchal, Ibiza, Malaga, and in Miami. So we only actually stop in a handful of ports. But if you take a 7-night cruise, you actually would probably get to 5 or 6 ports. So yeah, you have to enjoy ship time, which I don't know if I will or not. I've never done this before. So for that reason, and for a couple other reasons, the prices are generally pretty competitive. Are you ready? Because I'm going to tell you what I paid for this cruise, and I'm still really surprised at the price that I managed to get this for. So all in, including all my extras, which I'll cover with you in a sec, I paid £1,350 for this cruise. Now, I believe off the top of my head that's about $1,600 US, which for a 2-week cruise, including all of my food on a Virgin standard of ship, I think that's a bargain. Now, what you have to also then factor in is that while I'm on this ship, I've got $700 of onboard credit to spend at the bar. Now, that basically means if I don't want to, I don't have to spend a penny. And I can go out every night, drink every single night, eat loads every single night, and that's all it'll cost me. Now, other benefits of being on here is that because I've got that deep blue thing that I showed you earlier with the wristband, I have unlimited premium Wi-Fi. I also get like laundry done. Like, yeah, generally the value on here is excellent. I probably won't drink through $700, but I don't I don't know. I challenged myself to this on Scarlet Lady, and honestly, I was ill by the end of day 4. So I'm not even accepting the challenge this time. I'll have a few drinks and that'll do me. But yeah, so I paid $13.50 to be on here. And yeah, really, really good deal. Now, sticking with the point of finance, let's talk about upgrades, because I also mentioned I had looked at upgrading, I was going to look at upgrading out of this cabin. Now, I went to guest services and said, oh, hey, look, would it be possible to consider paying for an upgrade on this ship? And they said, oh yeah, absolutely, we have so Oh, you couldn't write this. We have so many cabins available. What type of room would you like? So I said, oh, I'll like, what would a balcony be if you've got a lot available? And let me have a look. Now, considering that I paid $1,350 for the cruise to upgrade into a balcony, they want $1,700, which is insane. That is totally insane. So, needless to say, you guys will be experiencing life on the inside this week because I am not giving them $2,000 to upgrade into a room with a balcony. No way. No way, because the public areas on this ship are gorgeous and I would spend most of the time out the cabin anyway. I just thought with being on the ship so much it would be quite nice to have a view, and I don't spend $2,000 on something that would be quite nice. So, yeah. Welcome back to my inside cabin. Now, anyway, moving on from money, let's talk about the theme of the cruise because this is so exciting. Now, welcome on board, ladies and gentlemen, to the Virgin Voyages, I need to check, Halloween Voyage. Now, I am, oh, honestly, this couldn't be more against my personality if I tried. I don't really enjoy, I mean, I hate dressing up, I absolutely hate it. And I like Halloween in terms of I'll always put pumpkins outside the door and I like when kids come trick-or-treating, but I will never dress up, I will never do anything. And I have now joined a ship with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 Halloween events. Most of which are fancy dress, which is going to be an absolute treat. That begins tonight with the spooky, spellbinding pyjama party. Honestly, say a prayer for me, guys. I think that's what I need. Now, everything is kind of Halloween themed. You've got the zombie walk, which is like the pub crawl. I really like the theming of this. I really, really do. And you know what you guys are going to love? So, I went via a shop on the way to the ship today. Honestly, just as I've said, it was against my personality. Let me show you what I've bought, because I mean, I love it. So, I have bought fake blood, which I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to use it for, but I need to come up with a costume, right? And I figured that if I can get someone to paint my face on the ship, I can then just cover myself in blood and that will be the costume. But the next dilemma is I don't really have any clothes that I'm happy covering in blood. So, yes. Anyway, watch this space. But fake blood is here. I then have Happy Halloween bunting, which I'm planning to put up in the corridor outside the room to make it feel Halloween-y out there. If I'm allowed. I think I'll be allowed. Honestly, guys, I think I've gone insane today. So I've got Halloween bunting. I've then got a pumpkin, which this is going to go outside my cabin with, like, candy, or as we say in the UK, sweets in it. And I'm going to put a little note to just say, Happy Halloween, have a sweet. I hope no one knocks my door, though. So that's going to go outside my door on Halloween night. And then I'm going to have to open these. Then I've got skeleton hands. So this is the most insane thing I've ever done, guys. I don't know what I'm thinking, but I've also got skeleton hands, which I'm going to try and hang these up outside the door, like hanging from the roof and stuff. So I've lost the plot. I've actually lost the plot. So yeah, zombie, skeleton hands, pumpkin, fake blood, and bunting has been acquired, and in 2 days' time, Deck 12 is going to be feeling spooky. I nearly took my eye out there. Feeling spooky is probably the best way of putting it. Now, anyway, zombie hands over there. Plan for tonight. So, as I said, I'm going to have quite a chilled one tonight. I am planning to go really quick dinner up at the buffet. And then after that, I am going to go to the Divas drag show, which is... It was so fun on Scarlet Lady, so I'm hoping it'll be good on here. So there's a show down in the Manor, and that takes about an hour and a half. So on Scarlet, they had an interval and stuff in it. So I'll probably turn up pretty late, maybe even from the interval, and then just stay until the end. After that, it'll be the pyjama party for me. Now, I actually forgot to bring pyjamas, which is very annoying. So I will probably wear, like, swimming shorts and a t-shirt, I think. But watch this space and I'll show you what I end up in. But look, this is the last time that I'm going to be on camera today. I hope you've enjoyed seeing a little bit of Valiant Lady, Barcelona, sailing out of here and just what life is beginning to look like on here. Now, if you have enjoyed it, it'd be brilliant if you could give the video a thumbs up, and also down below, why not, click subscribe and come along on the rest of this cruise and the rest of all of my other cruises going forward. I promise I'm not totally insane. He says while clutching 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 skeleton hands with no real use for. So, yes. Honestly, what are we doing? Right, let's go for dinner. Let's go for dinner, to the drag show, and then to the pyjama party, and I will see all of you tomorrow when we dock in Ibiza. If you enjoyed this video today, did you know that you can become a member of my YouTube channel for an exclusive behind the scenes look at some of the ships that I'm travelling on? If you're over on Patreon, then I would love to see you over there. All you have to do to join me on that community is just search www.patreon.com/Fraser@Sea. Both my YouTube memberships and my Patreon site lead directly to me getting on more cruise ships, and both offer a completely behind the scenes look at what's going on.